Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to the discourse on personality and competency. Personality is your state of being, is your state, and competency is your performance or your capability of performance. Personality per se may not be able to help you perform unless it is integrated variedly. It's like if you have a taste for jaggery, you cannot consume jaggery just like that. You can build a recipe out of that, and probably the jaggery will taste much better. So the sugar, so the potatoes, so the tomatoes, anything. So the potatoes and tomatoes are the simulation available to us. We'll get them together and make a recipe out of it. That's the difference between personality and competency. But we have a long, long wait. We have a long, long wait. Unless you want to catch up very fast. We have a pretty long wait before we come to terms with personality, the dynamics, and competency, the dynamics. Then I would have completed one major exercise of my endeavor as a behavioral scientist. That I'm able to carry forth my ideas from the thought to print and now to execution. Potatoes and tomatoes, or we talked about hands, nails, and palm lines, and brows and eyebrow, and eyelids, and the cheeks, and the nose. We have engaged all these resources into creating a picture about ourselves, and we said it's a most beautiful, most sought after picture for you because you are there. Neither your mother, nor your father, nor your children, nor your beloved would fit there. And life begins with you. When you open the eyes, the sun rises. Having said this, we have to gather now a bit of a momentum into the next part, next item in our conceptual journey. And that is that we can place these objects carrying resource, these objects one by one. Okay, we can measure it horizontally, we can also measure it vertically. So we'll have a detailed narration on how this measurement is done. Right now, we are still at the point of being clear on what these horizontalities are. So let me introduce to you a beautiful word, a beautiful expression, scientifically gigantic expression, behaviorally very, very distinguished expression. And that is personality trait. That is personality trait. Personality traits are the elemental behaviors. Elemental behavior. Sulfuric acid is, formula of sulfuric acid is H2, 2 hydrogen, S, 1 single sulfur, O4, 4 times oxygen, H2SO4. That's the combination, that's the character of sulfuric acid that makes it so corrosive, so reactive. One of the most hated chemicals when it comes to health hazards, one of the most detested chemicals when it comes to health hazards. Very, very, very corrosive. It is so corrosive and so dangerous that it can lead to fires. There are known to be acid fires. Acid fires. So may we produce a fire in the universe of happening. Not the fire that destroys, but fire that creates, that motions, that instigates, that alarms a new synthesis. Gurukul as we say, it's not a practice of education, it's practice of evolution. It's not a practice of education. It's not about reading number of books and knowing number of definitions and concepts. That almost becomes perfunctory once you aim for higher altitude. Gurukul is about evolution of humanity. So may we evolve as synthesizers of the new world forthcoming. So all of us become universal mothers who bear children, who create families. We are like universal mothers who procreate children, brilliant children, families that sparkles the universe. So personality, let me make personality your own baby. Now personality is your own baby. It's in very primitive stage. It's just crying for food, not knowing anything. It's crying for food. It's crying for security, like an infant who clings to the mother. It's crying for security. If the child is crying, what is the first thing we do? We take him close to your chest. Let him hear the heartbeats. Look, Baba, you're here close to my heart. Don't you worry. I'm always for you. I'm always with you. It's a painter's paradise, photographer's paradise, philosopher's paradise, it's poet's paradise. It's communicator's paradise. There are few examples often quoted because they have got the depth and the gravity and the intensity and the virtuosity. Their virtues can be used anywhere. The mother and the child relationship. So we want you to be universal mothers because you have a little one. That's you. A mother which helps you not to feel insecure, not to become a burden on the universe, to walk by yourself, to talk by yourself, to learn by yourself. Self-learning is one of the most fundamental, the starting point of evolution of humanity. And that's why it is the first principle of Gurukul. Self-learning. Self-learning, when we talk about self-learning in Gurukul, we always see a mouth-watering prospect. Oh my God, I'll pick up this story, I'll pick up that story, I'll take this metaphor, that metaphor, I'll take this instance, I'll cover up this particular incident and create meaning out of it. You're always excited by this term, self-learning. So I bring you into the self-learning pole now. You have to learn about yourself. You have to learn about yourself. Now, where's the book? There's no book. If I had given you a book and you read it, it is much easy. But here, I'm not even giving you a mirror. I'm not giving you a photograph. That's the one thing. How you look. Nose length, eye depth, eye color, skin color. Too mundane. Is that going to solve the problems of your living? You always love crisp notes, the first use of the note. But if the money comes to you, even if they're old notes, how does that matter? Are you going to insist on new notes? Are you going to give him any discount for giving you new notes? No. So new note is a look. We are not interested anymore in that. One of the most important exercises that any trainer worth his salt performs is to bring you out of the feeling of what looks good. Now, what is good is more important, my dear fellows. What is good is more important, my dear fellows. Why don't you understand? What is good is more important. What looks good? Don't allow that value in ethos. Don't allow that value in ethos. What looks good? Otherwise, people will become more and more, more and more, more and more fraudulent. You will see larger number of hypocrites, larger number of hypocrites coming into being by virtue of the fascination they have for looking good. And the more you try to look good, the more you try to look good, the more you go away, possibly, the more you go away from being good. The more a person in your office favors you, maybe a boss or owner, the more he favors you, the less you go to temples.